Hi, I'm Scott. Today we're going to go over hard piping a supplied air system into a filtration panel. We get a lot of questions in the tech service on how do we hard pipe into or with a filter and regulator panel. So let's review this real quick. It's pretty simple. First off, we need to figure out what kind of piping we can use. Basically, you can use any type of pipe that can resist the pressure that we're coming in. So minimum inlet pressure on a filter, 3M filter and regulator panel is 125 PSI. So we need to make sure we have piping that can resist that. And really, you want to make sure it can handle probably a minimum of double the pressure, so about 250. Pipe that we've seen out there used, galvanized, black pipe, copper, and PVC. You can basically, again, use anything that can resist the burst strength and that you're using in your facility. So how do you do this? First thing you need to do is we need to remove the inlet fitting from the panel. And now for the 100 CFM panel, we basically want to run a minimum of 3/4 inch pipe size in. And for the 50 CFM panel, you'd want to use a 1/2 inch, a minimum of a 1/2 inch. You can use larger if you want, but then you need some sort of adapter to reduce it down into the panel. So for the 100 CFM panel, the inlet fitting is 3/4 inch. So we need an adapter that would screw in here, that's 3/4 inch, and then the other side would mate up to the size pipe that you're using. Then on the outlet, so it would look something like this. Let's say that we screwed that in. That's the way it's going to look right there. The hard pipe comes into this side. Then we move over to the other side. And so we would remove one of the fittings, and I would recommend leaving the other fittings in place, or otherwise you're going to have to buy some caps to cap off those. So again, now we need some sort of adapter. This is a 3/8 inch fitting here, so we need a 3/8 inch adapter that will run in there. And now again, we would just run the pipe on the other side. And so what type of pipe again? Any of the pipe can do. We recommend a minimum of 3/4 or 1 inch pipe on the outside. And really that's going to vary depending on how far you're going to run. If you're running 2, 5 feet, 10 feet, probably not a big deal. You could go with a smaller size pipe. If you're running hundreds of feet, you're going to want a 3/4 or a 1 inch type pipe. But it's really going to depend on, can you get the amount of pressure you need to the location that you're going to. So again, basically we would come out this side. We would run our pipe throughout our facility. And finally, we're going to run it all the way up to whatever workstation that we're going to be at. At that workstation, what we need is a pressure gauge and a regulator so we can dial in the right pressure at that area. So basically, we would terminate like this. And so now I would plug in. And remember, the NIOSH certification starts at the end of the hose that plugs into wherever we're getting our air from. So my NIOSH starts right here. In my workstation, I would plug in. I would dial in the pressure for my for the valve that I'm using and the system that I'm using, and away I would go. Pretty simple.